Today, guys, let's talk about Visa 491. Visa 491 is a very important visa, as much as we have other kind of visas. They will call it skilled regional work visa. Now, this visa, you does not like you don't need somebody to give you a job for you to get this visa. You don't need somebody to actually give you sponsor you for as an employer to be able to give you this visa. All right, so it's different from Visa 482. All right, so this visa gives you an opportunity. It gives you an opportunity for you to be able to come to Australia, and it has a duration of 5 years in it. 5 years in it. Now, listen well. This visa is called a skilled regional visa. Now, this visa, and when you get to at least by the by the third year in this visa, you are qualified to apply for the permanent residence visa, which is 191. Now, there are clauses in this visa. This visa is a very funny one, actually. So there is requirement, which is like other visas. You have to be able to make sure that your occupation, like Visa 491 have its own occupation list. Every state have their occupation list. Every occupation have that can sponsor Visa 491 is being shown in other states. So if you go to all the states now, right now, they will show you their 491 occupation list. Okay, so these are occupations that fall under this particular visa. Occupations that some occupation can apply for even 491, 190, and 189. It just depends on your occupation. All right, but this is where it gets interesting. Where it gets interesting is this. It gets more interesting because by the time you do Visa 491 and particularly Visa 491, by the time you do Visa 491, one of the interesting things that you will discover is that at some point you will come to realize that Visa 491, you have to live in a regional area. Now, I've told you what regional area is. In Australia, regional areas are areas excluding from Brisbane. As long as you don't live you're not in Brisbane, you're not in Melbourne, you're not in Sydney, then you're not in a regional area. Okay, any other place is a regional area. Adelaide is in the regional area. South Australia as a whole is a regional area based on the federal level. All right, so what that means is that if you're on this visa, the government changed some rules last year. There's a particular clause to your family threshold income. So it means as a family unit, let's say if you have a family, both you and your wife, if you're single, you're expected to make at least $70,000 annually to be able to qualify to stay on this visa and be able to meet the requirements, so that by the third year you can easily apply for your permanent residence. As I said earlier on, this is just the funny thing that have come with this visa. So Visa 491 is like as good as other kind of visas, because it also, the benefit is that it also has what to call Medicare. Visa 491 has got Medicare, and this Medicare is something that is really, 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 really important, and you really want to be able to, do something with it, because it helps you to access healthcare easily. Now, listen, most temporary visas in the past does not have Medicare. So what makes Visa 491 funny is that it came with Medicare, and this was done to actually encourage people probably to move down to regional areas, because this is just a few tips, a few things. I mean, I just summarized it for you. Now, remember, there are things that you need to do. Basic requirements: you have to do your skill assessment. Number one, you have to do your skill assessment. You cannot, or like this one cannot be overemphasized. So you do your skill assessment, which involves you taking your English test and also finding your assessing authority, submit your document and do your skill assessment. Number two, you after skill assessment, and when you get your positive skill assessment, you do what we call, you apply for your expression of interest. Expression of interest is like you are now going to express to the states that are sponsoring your own occupation, the states that your occupation falls into. Remember, the fact that you are a banker or something does not mean that every state in Australia will be looking for you. So there are some certain states that will be looking for you. So you find out those states and go, and when you're doing expression of interest, you will indicate in that state that you are interested in coming to the state, and then they will check you out and know if you are okay and if you met the requirements. And also, most of the 491 visa, and most there's what called points test. Now, I shared something about point calculator on my channel earlier on. So Visa 491, you just need like so from 65 point. Most states take from 65 point, depending on the competition. But why Visa 491 is good is because if you're applying to states, you are awarded extra 15 points. All right, so when you get to the point calculator or your fee or UI, the moment you click Visa 491, the moment you choose Visa 491, the state is awarding you for 15 points, unlike 190 where they award you only 5 points. All right, so I will end it for today, guys. Don't forget to like, share this video. All right, take care of yourself.